In Paul's letter to the Thessalonians, he writes to them, "But you, brethren, are not in the darkness, so that this day should overtake you as a thief." We've been given the message of Jesus, just as the disciples had then. It is up to us to use that message as we choose. We have no excuse not to be ready when that day comes, whether it's Jesus coming to us, whether it's the earth ending, or whether we go to meet Jesus. But again, knowing our ways and knowing human nature, it is like us to procrastinate. And when a homework assignment comes due on Monday morning, and you can't say to the teacher, "Well, I know you assigned this 3 weeks ago." I don't know why I was looking at you. "But I'm just not quite ready. Can I have just another day?" But I need to fault myself. What do you think I was doing last night? I was getting ready for this. But it's nobody's fault but my own. I mean, I had all the information I needed, just like the assignment that the teacher gives, all the information you need. No excuse not to be ready. Because the stakes are a little bit higher, though, when we talk about our everlasting life and the condition of our hearts and the conditions of our soul. The next thing he talks about is this relationship between a master and a servant. And that's a common theme throughout the Bible in various places. Jesus talks about the responsibilities of a master, being respectful to your servants, treating them well, the responsibilities of a servant to do well no matter what your condition is, no matter what situation you're in, to give it your all each and every time. And at some point in our lives, we are both. We have been masters and will be masters of something or someone, and we are servants. Have been either in sort of our mortal life, if you will, at work perhaps, at home. Even the great philosopher Bob Dylan understood this when he said, "You got to serve somebody. It may be the devil, or it may be the Lord, but you got to serve somebody." But this idea that he relates as far as a servant and what the servants do when the master's away is again another relation to our typical human nature. It's been said that the best judgment of a person's character is what they do when they think nobody's watching, nobody's listening. When the cat's away, the mice will play, that sort of thing. Someone of poor character is likely to act differently depending on who's watching. But true Christians have it easy. We do have it easy because we know we are always being watched. Not only watched in what we do, but watched in what we say, and even more scary, watched in what we think. Which can be invisible to people around us, but we know it's not invisible to the Lord. And that in and of itself should provide all the discipline we need, knowing that we're watched each and every minute. In the book of Acts, the writer Luke was relaying one of the last conversations that Jesus had with his disciples after the resurrection, before he ascended into the heavens. And again, the disciples asked him this question: "Are you going to restore Israel now?" Still perplexed as to the timing of the whole thing. So he reiterated to them again, "It is not for you to know the times or seasons which the Father has put on his own authority." He then sent them the promise of the Holy Spirit that came afterwards. But it seems as though Jesus is telling us, don't fret about the timing. What difference does it make? Don't expend your time and energy trying to figure out, what are the signs of the end of time? When is it going to happen? If the situation is I die to go meet my Maker, when am I going to die? There are better things for us to spend our time and energy doing while we're here on earth. Maybe one of them is to spread the word of the Lord. But it's interesting that the last thing that Jesus told his disciples, as Luke accounts it, was this whole idea of don't worry about the timing. And it was after that conversation when he ascended into heaven. You can probably fill pages and pages of books of people that have spent sometimes an entire lifetime trying to figure out when is the earth going to end, when is Jesus going to return, what's Armageddon going to look like. There are denominations of the Christian faith that have sort of made themselves around that question. But what has that gained humanity? In each and every case of those volumes and volumes of people trying to predict that, they've been wrong each and every time. What has that effort gained humanity? If we are ready, whenever we meet our Master, it will be a joyous occasion. If, however, we are more like the heart of an evil servant and we are unprepared for what we've been told is coming, or been told the right way to do things, then that occasion may not be so joyful. The last illustration that Jesus tells us through the disciples is the parable of the 10 virgins. Paul's letter to the Ephesians uses the same sort of situation or analogy, whatever you'd like to call it. Husbands are the head of the household as Christ is the head of the church. Wives are like the church whom Christ loves. In this parable, the bridegroom is the Lord. And at least in one way of looking at this, and there's probably more than one, but at least one way is the 10 virgins represent the church. Not just a single person, but represent the types of people that might exist in a church. Christ is delayed in coming. The bridegroom is delayed in coming in the story. Some of the young ladies are prepared, some of the church members are prepared, and are ready no matter how long it takes for that meeting. They are ready. With their vessel of oil, their lamps, no matter how long it takes, they'll be ready. Some of the young ladies are not so ready. They might be superficially prepared. They might have espoused a Christian faith, but they may not live it deep inside. They may not be ready. Perhaps they're new Christians, robust, ready to go, but as time drags on, they lose their faithfulness. They lose their enthusiasm. And they lose their discipline to do what they had done early on. But when those that are unready, when the time had come, they weren't ready for it. And by that time it was too late. The door of salvation had been shut on them. And like we can read in other places of the Bible, when that person comes to the Lord and begs for mercy, he says, I don't know you. You don't know me, I don't know you.